Hey, this is Craig, Toolman with Tool Specialist, and today we have a video explaining to you how to program an IntelliFlo 3 VSF. This is a new pump that Pentair came out with. It actually replaces both what I call the WhisperFlo IntelliFlo and then the IntelliFlo XF. And it's actually closer to an XF body. It does fit in for either one of them, and it comes with unions, which is a nice improvement over the old WhisperFlo IntelliFlo, which had been around for decades. And it uses the XF unions, so if you're replacing an XF pump, you'll find that it'll fit right in place. If you have an IntelliFlo WhisperFlo, you're going to have to, of course, replumb it a little bit, but needless to say, it will fit in from the height standpoint and the setback to your return side. Okay, so they have these O-rings, and of course the O-ring fits into here, and you would typically take that and put that into that one, put it into your front one, and now you're going to take the unions, and unlike the XF union, this actually does not have the little clip, so that's going to go on top of it, and then you're going to have that screw in. Now the inside of this is 2.5 inch, the outside is 3 inch, and because it replaces the WhisperFlo and the XF, they also give you a 2.5 to 2 inch bushing. So we're just going to go ahead and set those on the pump just so that you got an idea. And of course, this is not plugged in. We have it hooked up to power so that we can demonstrate to you exactly what's going on with the pump. It, of course, has the same basket setup that the XF had, so it's closer to an XF wet end. And the one nice thing that they finally did is they did the bonding lug so that it actually passes through. So this is a lot nicer than the old one, where it would rust up and you'd basically have to cut your bonding wire. This way, if you have a looped bonding wire, you can just set it into this, tighten this up, and you're good to go. So the back of it, of course, fell off because I had it unscrewed. Now, this is of course your power. The power is live. This only uses 240 volts. So you cannot put 120 volts into it like you can the SuperFlo. So 120 here, 120 here, and then of course your grounding wire. And that you want to have this powered with either a Pentair or a Siemens 20 amp GFI breaker. The other breakers are not going to work. They will trip a cheap breaker like an Eaton breaker. So make sure that you buy either the Pentair breaker or you purchase the Siemens. And Siemens does make them for Pentair. Now, if you have an automation system such as an Easy Touch, an IntelliTouch, or even an iAqualink, it is ready to go once you plug it in. And so here is your connector, and if you remember the way that the IntelliFlo connected up, there was a little plug on the side, and then when you went back to the box, you attached the green and the yellow wire. So it was only a 2-wire interface. And yes, they do have 4 wires for this, but the only 2 wires that you actually need are the green and the yellow. And they're going to go back to your control box, and then this RS485 port will function the exact same way as if it was an IntelliFlo or an IntelliFlo XF. So that is one of the nice features one of the biggest complaints about this pump is that they did away with the display on it, which is the way that you would program this pump if you weren't using automation. So there is rumor that a lot of people have complained about it, and they're now coming out with a new generation of this, which will come back and put the display on here. There's talk that they will also have a display that you can retrofit onto this, and of course that would be an additional cost. Now there's a slot in here, and you can purchase this pump with relays in it, and the relays are set up for two reasons. One is for a salt system, so that you program this pump up and you program it so that you have at least 25 gallons per minute, and then that would turn on your salt cell. And then the other relay is really set up for your heater, and that heater would be set to say 45 or 50 gallons a minute as a minimum, depending on what type of heater you have. And those relays would only allow those devices to turn on once you have that much water flow in the system. And so your automation system in the past could handle things like this. However, this pump is also designed that you do not need an automation system with it, and it will connect up to your phone and be a smartphone in Bluetooth, and then you can connect it up to your Wi-Fi. And there is something called the Pentair Home app, which we're going to demonstrate to you, and that is what we're going to show you, and how to connect up to this in Bluetooth and program it in Bluetooth, and then how to connect up to it and connect up your Wi-Fi and program it in the Wi-Fi mode as well. A lot of times with people that you're installing this pump for, they will not have Wi-Fi out to where this equipment pad is, and the Wi-Fi connection for this pump, quite honestly, is rather poor, and so you need quite a bit of signal. You will need at least 3 out of 4 bars in order to connect this pump to Wi-Fi, and it is not so easy. A lot of times it fails and you have to go back and start again. So hopefully they'll do some improvements on the app, because that's really where the problem lies, is in the app. We've had struggles with trying to get it to connect to Wi-Fi and even connect to, with Bluetooth. So let's take a look at how we're going to connect that. So we have 3 buttons. We've got the connect, we have on, stop. So we could actually hit this button now, and it's pre-programmed where it's going to run, and it's going to run at a certain speed, and it's going to run for a certain amount of time. And then you also have a quick clean. However, we're most important in connecting it up to our Bluetooth first. So you're going to have to be knowledgeable on phones, and I'm going to go through this. Hopefully you'll get a feel for how this works, and I will record the video on my phone so that you have an idea of what this looks like. We are going to come and we're going to look for our App Store, and we'll select our App Store. Then we're going to search on Pentair Home, and you're going to see that it comes up with a couple different options. You have the Pentair Home app, you have the Screen Logic Connect, and you have the IntelliCenter Connect. So what you're going to do is you are going to download and then open the Pentair Home app. When you open up the Pentair Home app, you're going to see it should come, and it's going to require you to sign in or create a login. So of course I already have a login. You're going to have to create one with your email and a username, or email and a password. Then once this opens up, you're going to come to the devices. There's a little plus in the upper right hand corner. You're going to hit that, and you're going to select what device you want to set up. So you can scroll down the list, and we're going to set up the IntelliFlo Pro3 VSF. So you click that. Now it starts walking you through. So it says, okay, press the connect button. And once it starts blinking blue, then you can hit the continue. And now it's actually giving you the part number. So yes, we're going to choose that one. And we do want to pair this device. So we pair it. Now we want to, for right now, I'm going to skip so that I can show you how to set up the Bluetooth. So we're just going to choose skip for now, and then we're going to continue. For direct connect, we'll just keep this IntelliFlo 3. We'll get rid of the VSF, and then we'll put a PS in front of it. And save that. Okay, continue. The installation is complete. Fetching data. Okay, so now this is where I want to set everything up. So I'm going to I want to set up a program. And you can, of course, set these programs up to whatever you want. For this particular program, I'm just going to say, well, program 1, I'm going to run it, and I'm going to run it every single day. I'm going to start it at 12 a.m. and I'm going to run it till 12 a.m. and so it's running for 24 hours. So that's your schedule. And then, of course, I can come over here and I could set it for manual or I could set it for timer mode, right? Then we've got our pump speed, and the pump speed, of course, it comes default set for 30 gallons per minute. So we can change this and let's just call it 80 gallons per minute, and then I can save that, and presto bingo, I would be done. Now, of course, with the other IntelliFlo products, what you'll find is you're going to find that you can put multiple programs in there, and the fastest speed takes the priority. So if you're going to program this up, I would say program it up at a low speed for program 1, run that 24 hours, and then in the morning typically I'm going to run it higher, say 80 to 100 gallons a minute, because I want to clear off the pool for about 4 hours, and the same thing in the evening. And this way you take advantage of the energy savings that this pump can actually give you. So that is how we would actually program it up. We can, if we turn this on, the way we would turn it on is simply hit the on button, it'll start up. We really don't want it to run for a long time because there's no water in it, so we're going to shut that right off. So that is how to program up the Bluetooth. So, however, what we may want to do is actually set it up so that we connect to the Wi-Fi. So we're going to go through that process now, and we're going to connect it to the Wi-Fi. The advantage of the Wi-Fi over the Bluetooth is if you only do the Bluetooth, every time you want to come over to this pump and do something other than turn it on and off, you're going to have to connect to the Bluetooth. Where if it's connected to Wi-Fi, it'll actually run through the Pentair Home app. So let's go ahead, and we're going to turn the power off on this for a minute, and then we're going to reconnect it and set it up so that we can connect it to Wi-Fi. So we've deleted that device, and so now we're going to add it in. So you add in the button, and you come down to IntelliFlo 3, and it's going to lead you through this install process. So hit continue, and then you're going to hit the connect button. It's going to start blinking blue. Now we hit our continue again. We're going to select that pump, and it's establishing a Bluetooth connection with it. Now we're going to say let's connect via Wi-Fi. So we're going to go ahead and connect it to pool time, and we're going to go ahead and put in the password. Okay, so this is of course the office. So yes, that is the address that we want it connected to. And now what do we want to call it? We're going to call it PS IntelliFlo 3. We'll finish that setup. Now we're complete. And we want email notifications, and I want text notifications. I don't personally need to receive helpful hints and tips and tricks, so I'm going to ignore that, but that may be a good thing for most homeowners to use. Okay, continue, text message opt-in. Would you like to monitor? You want to save your password, and now we're off and ready to go. So at this point, we can go to our dashboard, and we can come into here, and here we can set our programs. So let's go ahead and edit our program, and we're going to call this 24-hour. It's going to be a schedule, and we're going to run it for all the days. It's going to start at 12 a.m. and end at 12 a.m. So we've got 24 hours. We're going to set it for flow, and we're going to come down and we're going to set it to 35 gallons a minute, and we'll save it. So at this point I can say run now, and the pump will begin to prime. As you can see, the button is flashing, and I'm going to go ahead and shut that off. So I go to my app and I hit stop. You can see that it stopped it, and it's updated. So we can set multiple programs in here, and again, you know, typically I would do something like take a program and set a schedule, and I would say, all right, well, let's do it from, say, 8 a.m. until, call it 12 p.m. And now I'm going to set my flow for that to 80 gallons a minute. And so that's the way I want it. So I'm going to save that. And of course now that program is set up to run. And because that's a higher speed, it will actually overrun 35 gallons per minute. So this is your Pentair Home app. And of course, as you put more and more devices on your dashboard, you will have more and more options. You can see I only have 2 pumps on here, but there's quite a few things that can sync up to this app, and we'll probably be going over those on some future videos just to keep you abreast of how that is. So again, this is our new IntelliFlo 3 VSF, variable speed and flow. We have 3 ways to connect it. We can connect it via the standard automation system as an Easy Touch, IntelliTouch, IntelliConnect, IntelliSync, or even the Jandy system. We could connect to it and control it and set the programs over Bluetooth, or we can connect it to Wi-Fi, and we can also have the Wi-Fi set schedules to it. The big advantage of the Wi-Fi is then when you want to modify it, as long as you're connected to your home Wi-Fi, you could go ahead and make those modifications. If you're on Bluetooth, now you're going to have to connect into the pump every single time you want to modify those connections. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you found it educational. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.